Touchdown, Westerly!
A chance for the Chargers, and they score!
In the front, Fuzzy again!
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Breakfast with Ken and Ben. You kind of look like Ken,
Kind of.
but
Younger version, I guess.
a younger version of Ken. Slightly
Slightly.
younger
Only
version
slightly.
of Ken.
Yeah.
Dan LaBelle is my co-host today. Dan, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Tell everybody who you are.
Yeah, my name is Dan LaBelle, head girls basketball coach at Charahoe High School. I just finished up my 4th season. I'm assistant girls lacrosse coach at the high school as well at Charahoe. And I also commentate for 3-2-1 when I get the chance.
You got the chance last night, and it was spectacular.
Man, what a first game we got to do for Charahoe softball. First one ever 3-2-1 media has gotten to do, and both teams did not disappoint last night. Neck and neck the entire game. Charahoe did a good job in the 7th inning of, manufacturing a run to tie the game. They were down 2-1. But then Jenna had to be, out of the game because you can only pitch 7 innings. And then Pilgrim was able to figure out the other Charahoe pitcher who came in the top of the 9th, and their order from top to bottom is unbelievable. There's no break in that lineup.
Now, what's really funny is that I was looking at baseball game length for DJ last week. She asked how long the normal baseball game that we cover is. This was softball, but I was looking at baseball last week. And so I went through our archives and I looked, and there was one that was like 3.5 hours. And I was like, almost 4 hours. And I was like, what is this? So I looked, and it was an overtime game that went to 10 innings. And it was 2-2 in overtime in extra innings. And then all of a sudden it was 7-2. And so last night I'm watching this as I'm getting ready to produce Maundy Thursday services for Christ Church. And I'm like, this game's going to go into extra innings. And then it ended the exact same way.
Yep. Deja vu.
It was crazy. So that was, it ended the exact same way. 7-4. 7-4 was the final score. Also, Ken's
gonna get on you if you don't wear that hat.
I'm sure I haven't gotten texts yet, but and for those of you who know from the show on Wednesday, Ken did have surgery yesterday for a hernia and is doing well.
Yeah, everything's going well. Coach DiMaggio took him to the hospital yesterday, and he's recovering. We're hope to have him back really soon. Everything went really smooth.
That is awesome. He, in his head, thinks that he's doing Sports Open Mic tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
I told him it's Easter weekend, like we can hold off. And he was like, I'll let you know. And I'm like, I should plan on being here tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that's just how he's always been. He's one of, if not the hardest worker I know in my life. And that's how he's gotten to the point where he is. People know his name all over the place in the town of Westerly, not only Westerly, but the other surrounding communities as well. And he's done such a great job broadcasting and just being a great person for the area.
Yeah. He's the man. He's
Absolutely.
The man. So I want Dan, at some other point in time, I want to just have you one-on-one on a show so I can interview you and get to know you a little bit more. But that's not your role here today.
No.
You're the co-host.
I am the co-host.
You're the co-host. You're the man. I think you're Dave's favorite announcer that we have. Don't tell other people.
I appreciate that.
None of the other guys watch this show. It's fine.
I appreciate that, Dave. Thank you.
But it's the middle of baseball season. We got baseball coming up tomorrow.
Yep.
Westerly versus Charahoe at Charahoe. You're going to be calling that game for us. That should be spectacular.
Gonna be an awesome game.
And we're in the middle of softball season. As we said, we just had the first Charahoe softball game. We have Westerly softball tomorrow as well. We're in the middle of lacrosse season. So many great lacrosse teams, boys and girls from all of the schools that we cover. We have not got a chance to cover boys volleyball yet, but we're gonna. We've had illnesses with camera people and different availabilities and whatnot, but there's 174 games to try to cover between all of the schools, and we're doing our best this spring. But did you know, Dan, that it's also football season?
I did.
You did?
I did.
You did. All right.
Think it's because we have a guest.
We do have a
That's involved
guest.
in
We're going to be
football.
back in just a second with Christopher Straight, who is the president? No, just on the board of the Outlaws, and we are going to hear all about spring football in just a second. We'll be right back. Experience local excellence with RoofRite. Experience local excellence with RoofRite Roofing in Charlestown, Rhode Island. With over 40 years of unmatched expertise, RoofRite specializes in architectural shingles and holds the prestigious title of GAF Master Elite Installers. Known for their commitment to the community and support for local initiatives, RoofRite is your trusted partner for all of your home's roofing needs. Call today for a free estimate at 401-212-4140.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. In this challenging insurance environment, Lathrop Insurance can be your beacon in the storm to help you find the coverage you need at the right price. Now, more than ever, you need a partner in the insurance industry that can work with multiple carriers to make sure you have the right coverage at the right price. Lathrop Insurance carries home, auto, and business insurance and can be reached at 401-596-2525. We've been supporting the local community since 1939, and we look forward to working with you.
What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick down here at the Wireless Zone at Dunn's Corners at 224 Post Road, and everybody down here is getting the brand new iPhone 16. We have it here in stock. The best part is right now, if you trade in your old phone, you get it for free. We got deals all weekend, awesome savings. Come on down and see us, 224 Post Road, Dunn's Corners, Verizon Wireless Zone. We'll see you soon.
D&V Mechanical specializes in the installation, maintenance, and servicing of Mitsubishi Ductless mini split heat pump systems. We are certified by Mitsubishi as Diamond Elite Contractors and factory trained and up to date on the proper procedure of the installation and service of Mitsubishi Ductless heating and air conditioning ductless heat pumps. We assist with the paperwork to reduce much of the stress-related documentation required to get the state rebates and federal tax incentives. We are not a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-nothing company. We are masters of ductless heat pumps. It's what we do, and it's what we know.
And hello, everybody. We are back here with Chris is fine, with Chris Straight. And we're going to talk some spring football, and then we'll talk fall football, and then we'll talk about life in general. But tell me about the Outlaws.
Yeah, so the Outlaws was started by a couple coaches from the Stonington Youth Football Program right now, Jay Kenny and Robert Ruda. It encompasses the youth from Charahoe, Westerly, and Stonington in our three towns, ages 7 all the way up through 14 we have. We play in the New England Youth Tackle Football Conference, which is a New England-based spring tackle football league. So we play teams from Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. We started March 1st, and we have our first game coming up this Saturday. We're playing the Springfield Cowboys, and it's at Stonington High School this Saturday afternoon.
And when you say you have your first game coming up this Saturday, you mean you have your first plethora of games, because this is going to be like a 9-hour event.
Yes. We have 4 different age groups. We have a 9U level, an 11U level, 13U level, and a 14U level. And all 4 games are back to back the whole afternoon on Saturday at Stonington High School. Yep.
It's going to be a long afternoon. It's so for people that are familiar with the Pee Wee schedule here in Westerly and Stonington, it's one additional game to that.
Yeah.
How do the Cowboys do? I mean, not how do the Cowboys do it, but how many levels do the Cowboys have?
Yeah. So the Charahoe Cowboys, where I'm a coach and a board member, in the fall program, we have 5 levels actually.
Wow.
Yeah, so we have a flag level, ages 4 to 6 is where
Hey,
we start. You know?
Rep
awesome.
Rep Charahoe flag.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
I just almost spilled water on myself. Charahoe flag, more years than I'd like to admit. They were like, maybe stay down. Maybe stay down and flag. You know, maybe I think that this is all you got. Nobody could see me when I did that. But maybe this is all you got for blocking. Maybe this. I'm trying to get Coach Samaggio to get me inducted into the Charahoe Sports Hall of Fame.
Ah.
You put a pretty good
for-
pitch to him the other day. I
well,
thought.
yeah, I mean, for one season of mediocre JV football,
Yeah.
for getting cut for the team for grades one year, and then one game as a cheerleader.
It's a pretty good resume.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good resume.
Not many
It's-
people have that resume.
No one has that resume. No one has that resume. You know what was nice? Coach Vazzaro, it like broke his heart. Freshman year of high school, worked my ass off all summer. I was in all of the camps, double sessions. We do everything. We get to like the week before school, and he's like, "Hey, come with me in the gym." And we sit down, and he's like, "You did not get good enough grades in 8th grade to play this year." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" Like, I made it to high school. Like, I didn't think that you could graduate from middle school to high school but not have good enough grades to play sports. And I've never told the story. And he was like, "Yeah, we love you. We love your passion. You've been here literally every single day. You're working your ass off. But you failed science or whatever in 8th grade, and they're not gonna, and I was like, oh man." So then I failed all 4 quarters of science in 9th grade. No, I'm kidding. But I did play, but then I played 10th grade, and they were all like, "Oh, we're happy to have you back." And, I got razzed a lot for that. But yeah, I got cut from my freshman football team for grades before school even started.
Yeah, you weren't even eligible.
I wasn't
Nope.
even eligible. No. And I was like, you guys could have saved me a lot of conditioning. A lot of conditioning. I was there for the senior workouts. I was there Anyway. So Hall of Famer,
Yeah.
future,
That was
future Hall of Famer.
Great
That was a short
resume.
story of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Future Hall of Famer. Anyway,
Love it.
so yeah, but regardless, I was a Charahoe flag football star
Awesome. Yeah.
for multiple years. How did you get involved with football? I assume probably the same way I was just explaining.
Yeah. When I was a kid too, the same thing. Ages
Except
5,
better grades.
maybe a little better grade. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I started with the Cowboys too. Through flag and kind of worked my way up, and that's the feeder system in the Charahoe High School football. So then I moved into Charahoe High School football. And, we had a lot of great years, in Charahoe High School football too. So
You did. I was jealous of that.
yeah,
Right after I graduated, you guys had good years.
yeah, we had great years. Yeah,
Yeah. Don't rub it in, man.
great years.
Great.
Don't rub it in. Did you play football?
I didn't.
No?
No, I always wish I had though, especially now this was my 3rd season helping out with the Charahoe football team. I helped do the strength and conditioning program as a volunteer, but just being around the game now, like it's literally the most team sport that you can get. Like all 11 guys out there, you need to rely on, because if one of them don't do their job, then could lead to good things for the other team. And yeah, I really wish I had played. It's family atmosphere, and it's the best. That's why I love being a part of it.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. It's fully a team sport. And if you're not in the right spot at the right time,
Mhm.
it could be disastrous. I remember I got an interception that got called back because of a penalty, but I got an interception on a play, and Coach Preventure chewed me out on the sideline And I was like, I intercepted the ball. And he was like, you're a nose tackle.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have been anywhere near the ball to catch it. I was like way back by the linebackers. I was very much, he was like, you didn't stay home. What do you do? Like, sure, it worked out on that play, which by the way got pulled back for a penalty.
Yeah.
But like, you're not anywhere where you're supposed to be. And I'm like, I like theater.
Sign of a good coach right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Shout out to Coach Pro.
Yeah,
He was your head coach, right?
Yeah. He was our head coach. Yep. And our freshman year for the high school, we were Division 4, and by the time I was a junior, we were Division 2A. Senior year, we were Division 2A, and we went to the state championship for the first time in Charahoe High School history that year, back in 2006. And we lost to the Shea Raiders, but we made it that far. And Coach Pro was our coach. So he was great.
How did you like playing for?
Rubbing it in.
How did you like playing for Coach Preventure? Because I know Coach Preventure
Oh, yeah.
through him being the assistant athletic director
Okay.
for
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit after at Charahoe. Amazing guy,
Oh, really?
in my opinion. Yeah, he was the assistant athletic director for a little bit before he eventually
right,
retired.
yeah.
This past, I think it was 2 years ago now. But how did you like playing for him?
Oh, I loved it. I mean, like we were talking about with football being the ultimate team sport, he really related the game of football to the game of life, and that was really something that he strived to do, is to not only make us better football players, but make us better people, on and off the field. And there's so many lessons that he taught us on the field that I take, with me today as a husband and a dad, and, as a football coach now and the youth ranks too. I mean, he's just the ultimate football coach, but he's definitely been one of those big role models to a lot of people, including myself. So
Yeah,
been great.
he's been constantly involved in the Charahoe community, but all the way up until he retired. So just wanted to make sure to shout him out because he
Yeah.
put in a lot of time at Charahoe.
That's great.
Yeah, I love Coach Pro.
Mhm.
He invited me my senior year. I was not a football player anymore, and he invited me to the Thanksgiving, the night before Thanksgiving
yeah.
party at his house, just because they loved me so much, and that was really sweet of him. He was my astronomy teacher as well, and junior year I was in theater and we were doing a play, Arsenic and Old Lace, and I was playing a crazy person who thought that he was Teddy Roosevelt, and we were supposed to do previews for the entire school. This is, by the way, so my junior year, that I quit football to do this show, for this fall show in junior year. I go to school. The deal is we're doing previews for the entire school that day. So you get there early, you get in your full costume and makeup, right? Which for me was a 3-piece tuxedo with a fake mustache and pomade in my hair, and a so a tuxedo and pomade
And a fedora?
No fedora. I was just thinking, did I have a fedora? There were fedoras, I didn't have one. And our teacher broke her ankle and had to go to the hospital, and they were like, you don't have a advisor, you guys can't do the shows. And we were like, we can do the shows, we can do the previews. And they were like, your teacher isn't here, you have to go back to class. So I had to go to astronomy with my former football coach that I had quit on weeks before, in a full tux with a mustache, because the mustache was like super, like it was not super glue, but it was like spirit glue or whatever it is. It would not, like, it did not just come off easy. It needed like a couple hours to come off. So I'm sitting in class like looking like Groucho Marx or something, and he's just smiling ear to ear, and he called me Goose. That was my nickname. And he was like, hey Goose, do you want to give a presentation? Like, you want to be the teacher? He just ruthlessly enjoyed it in the sweetest, kindest way. Like,
Yeah.
I just love Coach Preventure and Coach Kelly and Coach Pizarro for that matter.
Yeah, they're great.
What about the youth football system? Like, Was it being a dad that made you go back into it? Was it just the love of the game and your community? Like, what made you want to give back and go back into youth sports?
Yeah. So originally it was because my son, became of age to play flag football. So I was like, oh man, I used to play football. You want to play football? Let's go try it out. And, we needed coaches at the time for the flag level. So I volunteered, stepped up and said, yeah, I'd love to do it. It really reignited the passion that I have for the game of football and for just now being a dad, like just being able to pass that knowledge on and that experience and just being able to kind of develop these kids to the next level. And that's really what's grown my passion in the last 3 years or so that I've been back in it. So it allowed me and kind of made me want to join the board of directors, for the Cowboys, to be able to take steps in the community, to grow the program, kind of build the relationship again with the high school administration and the high school coaches and the high school level. Because really, the Cowboys are the feeder system, just like Stonington Youth and Westerly Youth. They're the feeder systems to the high school football program and cheerleading programs too, because we have a lot of cheerleaders in our programs that move up and cheerlead for the football at the high school level. So, but now that's my passion right now. And that's why we got involved in the spring league too. Just wanted to give the kids in our area in Stonington, Wesley, and Chariho the opportunity to just keep growing and developing the game of football in the off season.
And what is the Outlaws? I keep just saying the Outlaws.
Yes, yeah.
It is the what?
The
Outlaws?
Oceanside Outlaws.
Oceanside.
Mhm.
Okay, Oceanside Outlaws. I knew it was.
Yeah.
I knew that the town name wasn't a town name.
Yeah.
The Oceanside Outlaws.
Mhm.
Very cool name. Very cool look. Very cool jerseys.
Yeah.
You guys have been practicing in Westerly, and you're going to be having your games at Stonington High.
Yep.
Which I'm assuming was just like it, when it comes to something like this, a community spring sport that's bringing all of the communities together, it just becomes availability of fields and where you can work this stuff out. I imagine it is a real, like, you got to get equipment, you got to get uniforms, you got to get the kids, you have to come up with the schedule, you have to, like, there's a lot of work in the starting a new team.
Mm-hmm.
How has that been?
Yeah, so it's been a little bit stressful, but we just keep in mind the end goal is the kids all the time, and that's what keeps driving all these decisions. So what happened, with the Outlaws was the folks from the Stonington Youth Football Program started this, and then some of us from Chariho and Westerly got involved. So they asked some of the coaches from the Westerly Youth League and the Chariho Youth League to get on the board of directors so that we had all three towns represented, and we ended up working together with our fall programs, and a lot of the equipment and some of the bags that we use are from our fall programs. We went back to those board of directors and said, hey, look, this is going to help our kids, in the fall program. We're trying to develop them more in the spring. So we don't have the funds being a first year program to go out and buy all this equipment ourselves yet. So can we loan, equipment, helmets, shoulder pads, practice shields, practice pads, stuff like that to the spring organization just to keep developing these kids? And they all, no questions asked, absolutely, you guys can use that equipment. So that's what we've been doing.
When kids are real serious and have a deep love for a certain sport, there are all of these different ways to be able to play year round now.
Yeah.
And you can really tell. It's like the difference of putting a violin in someone's hand at 3 years old versus 23 years old, right? Like, it's just this innate ability. When you look at people that, like Landon Husero, right? A phenom quarterback for Westerly, plays year round in different leagues, different camps, etc.
Yeah.
Calvin Hill, Jr., or the third, tight end, fantastic, plays year round every opportunity that he can. In other sports, even too, I'm very familiar with the Westerly teams, which is why I'm going to, because I've called more of their games. Casey Massera, right? Incredible lacrosse player, plays on travel leagues.
And just last night we saw for the Chariho Chargers starting pitcher Adriana Jedinot. I think she was on an all-state team her freshman year, and now she's a sophomore, but she's another one who plays all year round and really works hard at the game.
And like virtually untouchable for the 7 innings that she was able to pitch yesterday. Like, these leagues for these kids that really want to excel in football, or just get better for the next year, or just this is their sport and they love it and this is their passion and they want to do it more, right? And it's not about the stats or whatever. It's just about like camaraderie and teammates and doing all of that stuff. It's incredible. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But I think at a young age though, it is important that, you know, even if they're playing all year round, that you have good coaches, right? Because good coaches are also going to keep them into it as well. It only takes one, you know, bad coach that, you know, has a wrong impression on a kid or something like that, that can take them out of it, unfortunately, you know? So that's why your guys' job is so important. And I think it's the most important job in sports. As a high school coach myself, I know I definitely couldn't do it without the youth coaches in our area as well, because, you know, they're helping build the foundation, right? We're all working together, and it's really, really important. I wanted to ask you, what are some of the key things that you guys kind of focus on in developing these young players, as far as maybe it's schemes, maybe it's, you know, where to be on the field, or just other techniques? What do you guys, you know, find the most that kids need the most work on?
Yeah. So starting at the young levels, especially, you know, just teaching them the positions on the field. But I'd be remiss if I didn't say teaching them the safety and the safe way to play the game of football. I mean, there's a lot of nervous parents out there, you know, with the game of football and concussions. So we have to take a lot of safety courses. You know, if you are a coach at the youth level, you have to get certified in teaching the game of football the safe way. So teaching them the safe way to make a tackle, not leading with your head, you know, teaching them the safe way to make a block, again, not head first. So those are really the critical skills that we're working on. So the positioning, how to get in a 3-point stance, and then the safe way to make a tackle and a block. You know, at the young age, that's what we're working on. And really our job is just to keep developing them and make them ready for the next level, you know. But like you said, Dan, it's so critical that you have the right coach with the right mentality, you know, at that young age where, hey, we all like to see those special plays on Sundays, you know, in the NFL, all the big time players. But you know what? Not every kid is going to be a quarterback. Not every kid's going to be a running back. And that's okay. And reiterating the fact that every position on the field is just as important as the one right next to the other kid. And you know, it's a process, you know, it's a journey, and not every kid's going to be a superstar at the age of 8 years old, but you grow and develop each year, you get better. And that's the name of the game, you know.
You don't have to look any further than the NFL and the Patriots this year, or the past few years of, if you don't have a line,
that's the most important.
You don't have any.
Those are the most important people on the field in football.
Like, if you don't have a line, you don't get Tom Brady, you don't get Pat Mahomes, you don't get Barry Sanders, like
Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley this year.
You don't get like 100-yard rushers. You don't get 1,000, 1,500-yard rushers if you don't have a line that can dominate, like, or hold their own even, or just protect a quarterback and give the quarterback time.
Yeah.
That half a second even matters so much that, so it's fundamentals too, which is, and this is where you learn your fundamentals.
Absolutely.
So it's very cool. When do you guys get started planning the Cowboys next season?
Yeah, so we've actually that's like an all year round adventure, you know, just because of all the logistics that go into the season. But our registration is open right now already. We opened it the middle of March, and we're actively meeting and planning every month right now. You know, trying to make improvements to the field, improvements to, you know, the product that we put on the field, the uniforms, just there's so many logistics that go into it. So it's definitely an all year round thing, but our registration is open right now for the youth level for cheerleading and football.
Awesome. Very cool. What level are you the coach at there?
So I coach the 8U level for the Cowboys, which is our junior Pee Wee level right now. Okay. So yeah, that young age.
When did they change the names from like bantamweight and all of those?
I think it was, I don't know how long ago it was. Maybe like 8 to 10 years ago now at this point. But yeah, the Cowboys used to play in the Pop Warner League. Yeah. Now we play in the RI Preteen League, it's called. So it's definitely, you know, when we played in Pop Warner, it was a lot of weight based. So I know, you know, myself being a bigger kid too, I always used to have to play up a level because of the weight. But now it's more age based.
Or stay in flag for as long as you can.
or just stay in flag forever. Yeah. but
don't
so
wanna
now
talk
it's
The flag legend over there, bro.
Yeah, right?
Ben.
Listen. 3 years. I played 3 years of flag. Okay. I don't want to talk about it again. So
That's
it's more age based now.
yeah. So
I'm
now,
sure there's still weight limits though.
yeah,
I would
yeah.
assume.
So if you're like a certain weight at your age, you can't be a running back because they don't want you running
Yep.
over smaller kids. So it's there are certain positions you have to play at a certain weight. But you're playing with kids your age, your age or a year different. That's it. So I know my 8U team is 7 and 8 year olds. The next level is 9 and 10, then 11 and 12, and then 13, 14 for the Cowboys. So, yeah, no, it's an all year round thing now.
And that's similar for the Outlaws now too, right? I noticed.
Yes. Yep. So Outlaws is very similar too. It's all age based, not weight based. And again, it's more region based. With the Outlaws, this is our first year as we talked about, and we have over 120 football players between the 4 teams signed up in the region. So by far more than we thought we'd ever have in the first year of starting. This organization, we're able to field all 4 levels. We're definitely just ready for Saturday, ready to get going. So
That's awesome. We will be working the same way that we do with I don't know what it's I'm just going to be honest with the people watching at home. I don't know what it's going to look like for our presentation of Outlaws football. We have a lot of other stuff going on as well. It's also Good Friday right now, which means tomorrow's Holy Saturday, which means a ton of church services, which are other things that we produce here at 321. But what we did basically with the Pee-wees this year, and I'd love to talk about doing it with the Cowboys as well. Jay Bradford from XC Media Design, who's on the board for the Outlaws as well. He sort of, for the Pee-wee games last year, would set up his own camera and mics, and we would just pipe it through to 321. Now I look ridiculous with that. And we would sort of pipe it through to 321, and it wouldn't always be like the full flashy presentation. The full presentation with the scoreboard and the active stuff, just because like it's 10 hours, like 8 hours almost of this, especially with that. So we will be doing our best to make sure that we have. If you look on the 321 YouTube page tomorrow, I guarantee Outlaws football will be on there. I just don't know what it'll look like. But I do know that the voice Greg Morano has said that he will be there. So so expect that. And yesterday I was like, you can't call games for 8 hours. I'm not going to let you call games for 8 hours. Also, we have a softball game in the morning. You're not doing that. And he was like, I can do it. I can do all of them. I can do all of them. And I was like, you're not doing it. I was like, let's make it like a party atmosphere. Like, I was like, everybody, like give him a call. Like, like who wants to chime in on these games? Who wants to, who wants to come up to the booth and hang out for a little bit and, that sort of stuff. So we'll have some sort of, I don't know what it looks like, but we will definitely have some cameras there via Jay from XC Media Design tomorrow for Outlaws football. And I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Thank you for the support. Yeah.
Of course. And I would love to find a way to do something similar for the Cowboys football.
Oh, that'd be great. We'd love that.
Because we love that. We're trying to grow and expand more in Chariho.
Yeah.
And of course, Patrick Wiley, who graduated a year before you.
Yep.
And Dave DeAngelis and I, all Chariho graduates. Yeah. So we do love Chariho. Did Pat play on the Cowboys? Did he ever play football? I don't know.
I'm not sure if he did. Yeah.
I don't know. Guy's a joke. I'm kidding. He's my business partner. I love him. It's a joke. Never played football. I don't know what he was a wrestler.
Yeah, I think he did.
He was a wrestler.
That's right. Yeah.
what else do you do, man? What else do you do in your free time? Like, what do you like to do around here?
Yeah. So in my free time, when I'm not
Well,
working,
you're a dad and a husband, so I don't know about free time.
yeah. I
Yeah,
have,
right.
I have 3 kids that are all involved in something. So we're pretty busy doing that. But yeah, I'm also a volunteer firefighter when I'm not working and when I'm not doing something in sports. I volunteer with the Union Fire District in South Kingstown
But nice.
in my free time, quote unquote free time. So,
Well, thank you
Yeah.
for your work
Thank
there.
you.
Absolutely.
Because that's huge. What has been the most rewarding part of getting back involved with football and youth sports for you?
I think just being able to give back to the youth in our community, kind of seeing a need where without people that step up and want to give their time and their effort to the youth, some of these programs would just fall apart or they wouldn't grow. And they need more people that are willing to step up and for the right reasons, though, for all kids all the time. It's not about you. It's not about what you want to do. It's about what's best for the community and what's best for the kids. And just, trying to teach them a game that you're just as passionate about, but trying to pass on that passion and not putting the pressure on the kids, but making it fun for the kids, and just making them want to play next year, which hopefully then they want to play the year after, and they want to just keep playing and having fun. And same thing goes for the cheerleaders too. You want them to enjoy it so that they keep wanting to do it, making it a community and a family event, and just making it about a lot more than just yourself, making it about the community and the kids. And as long as you keep that at the forefront of all your decision making, then you're going to be successful, I think, when it comes to growing youth sports. So.
Yeah, and I think that's so important. Keeping it fun for the kids. Because again, they can lose interest quick, and at the end of the day, there's only a really, really small population in this world that ends up, going pro or anything like that in any sport that they do. So while they're playing in their young years, whatever the sport is, it's important to have good coaches that make it a lot of fun, and more importantly, teach those life lessons along the way too. So that's really important.
And if you go through and you love it, like there are so many ways. As a child, we think like the only way to continue doing this thing that we love is by going pro, right? But even that is such a short window.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you graduated in 2007,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Had you been an NFL football player, your career probably over by now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You guys are coaches, right? Dan, you also commentate now.
Mhm.
Like you can stay involved with the things that you love for forever. And also the life lessons that it teaches you, like the things that I learned in football and theater and all of these group activities and team sports as a kid, like are foundational to the work that we do, not just because we cover sports and do things theatrically, but because it's leadership qualities, because it's teamwork, because it's dependability, it's reliability, it's perseverance, it's all of those things.
Yeah.
And whether that for you is football or basketball or lacrosse or dance or karate, it's so important for kids to be out and doing those things. And that doesn't happen unless there are people like you,
Exactly.
and the board of directors for both the Cowboys and the Outlaws, and volunteers and all of everybody that makes this happen. So
Thank you
for what you do for your community.
Yeah. Thank you.
I got a
Important message
text
over there.
I got a text from Ken Collins. I can't believe how much that hat makes you look so beautiful. So clearly he's still having some effects from the anesthesia.
yeah, a little bit.
I can't believe how much that hat makes you look so beautiful. I just I'm gonna hold it up so that people know that I'm not lying. Hold on, I gotta cover Dan's face. There we go. And that's, by the way, let me know how you're feeling later. If you want to take tomorrow off, please do not push it post surgery. I will let you know. He's like, he's gonna be here, like, or he's gonna call me and be like, "I'm here already. Where are you?" And I'm gonna be like, "I told you to take the day off." And he's like, "I'm fine."
Yeah.
But speedy recovery to Ken after surgery. That man, great man. Chris, tomorrow starting at 2 p.m.
Yes.
Outlaws football, Stonington High School. Anything else you want to promote while you're here?
No, that's it. Just come out and watch these kids. They've been working hard, all spring, and support the community. Again, the kids are from Stonington, Wesley, and Charahoe.
Awesome.
Which can I add real quick? Like, I think that's awesome. A lot of times you'll see, and obviously in the fall it might be a little different. You get a little bit more participation, but a lot of times you see all the individual towns have teams.
Yeah.
I think this is awesome because it brings those three communities together.
Yeah.
Right. More kids. You're developing more relationships. With the players, with themselves. Building friendships like that. That'll most likely, and in some cases, last a lifetime. Some of my best friends I still talk to today, pretty much all through sports.
Yeah.
So that's the other big part, about sports, and it's great what you guys are doing. And I know we appreciate what you guys do.
Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you for being here. All right, guys, we'll be right back in a minute. And we just want to say thank you once again to Chris Straight, the 9U head coach. Yes?
Yes, for the Outlaws.
9U head coach for the Outlaws. Thank you so much for being here. And we'll see you tomorrow, Stonington High School. People can go and attend and stuff as well.
Absolutely.
Obviously.
Yep. Please come and watch. Yeah, all afternoon. It's supposed to be a beautiful day tomorrow. So come outside starting at 2:00. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.
I am Jim Howe. My practice is focused on representing people injured in car accidents, representing people injured in premises liability, represent people in all walks of life. I say all the time that I represent the underdog, and by the underdog I mean the person who is injured and is facing lawyers that are hired by insurance companies. If you unfortunately find yourself injured in an automobile collision or in any other circumstance where insurance may come into play, think of giving me a call.
Chris, before you go, I have one more thing for you.
Yeah.
You have 3 children,
Yeah.
right? And a bunch of kids playing football.
Mhm.
This is for you, man.
Oh, thank you.
This is for you.
Yeah.
No, I'm 100% serious. You need to take
Absolutely.
this right now. That is courtesy of Mystic Luxury Cinemas.
Oh, fantastic.
And it is authentic movie theater popcorn, and it's like, I don't know, I want to say 150 buckets worth.
Yeah. Wow.
Like,
That's a lot of
show
popcorn.
the camera.
It's a lot of popcorn.
It is. Yeah. And it was double that.
Wow.
It was double that. We have a host here named Rona Mann. That bag is legitimately bigger than her.
Wow.
So when it's completely full,
This
please
is
take
great.
that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Please take that and
have the kids
give it to your
enjoy it. Absolutely.
give it to your kids.
The kids will love it. They will.
Awesome.
Thank
All right,
you.
we'll be right back. I just I knew that if I would give that to him on camera, he'd have to take it. All right, we'll be right back.
Ever thought about leveling up your fitness game in a fun and meaningful way? Kiefer's Martial Arts on Granite Street has everything you're looking for. Kickboxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and of course, adult karate. It's not just about getting fit, it's about building your self-confidence, discipline, and that unstoppable feeling you get from all your hard work. Stop into Kiefer's Martial Arts today to sign up.
Wood River Health is my home for health.
Wood River Health is a one-stop shop for primary medical care, dental care, behavioral health, and social services. We care for the members of our community because they are our community. I'm Allison Croak, President and CEO of Wood River Health. Since 1976, our health center has provided high-quality, affordable health care to residents of Rhode Island and southeastern Connecticut. We are your neighborhood health center. Let us be your home for health.
Are you looking for a fresh cut in Westerly? Step into Rio's Barber Shop in Granite Plaza. Whether it's a classic trim or a trendy new look, we've got you covered. Experience the perfect cut for every age and style in a friendly and relaxed atmosphere. At Rio's, it's not just a haircut, it's an experience. Visit Rio's Barber Shop in the Granite Plaza in Westerly or give us a call to schedule your appointment at 401-315-2208. Your style, our craft, Rio's Barber Shop.
And we're back. Hello, everybody. Dan, you just told me something off air that I need to ask about. So that commercial was playing for Rio's Barbershop.
Yep.
And my hair is right now.
I need a little bit of a cut too, for sure.
And you said you were going to go see Carlos
at some point. Yeah, I don't know.
At some point,
I don't know when. Not going to be today.
No. But then you were talking about your sister Brittany.
Yep.
Who's fantastic, makes a bunch of gear for you guys, and apparently she also cut your hair.
Yes.
And you mentioned a tractor pulling club that
Yes.
you guys are associated with?
Yeah, so it's called the New England Garden Tractor Pullers.
I know the New England Garden Tractor Pullers.
My dad, Dan LaBelle is his name too. He's actually the president of it.
Okay.
He was president for 14 years. He took 1 or 2 years off. I think it was only one. And then he's now back being president of the association again.
Now, you guys do a tractor pull every year at the Washington County Fair, right?
Correct.
That's how I know about it, because I do the marketing for the Washington County Fair.
Yep.
I did not know that you were involved in this.
Yeah, well, I used to be really involved growing up. It was, something that my family and I did. We would take, the weekends during the spring, summer, and then into the fall a little bit. We'd go tractor pull as a family, and those were really great days. I lost interest in a little bit just because I had sports and, some other things going on. But it was just a great family event that we got to go to, on those weekends. And it is I really enjoyed doing it as well. You get competitive, with all the other pullers and stuff. And it's great. We have a banquet at the end of the year. They have the option to get either a trophy if they won, or they can have that in like money for the cost of the trophy, or they can get sweatshirts that, Brittany does the designing and stuff on that as well.
Wow.
So
that's awesome.
It's a great thing. And the club's doing well. They got a lot of members, and especially at the Washington County Fair, we always get a really good turnout for tractors.
There is such a great turnout for the tractors at the Washington County Fair. It is a huge thing. And as the person who documents the Washington County Fair for everyone, I have to say that I do not do as good of a job with the pulls, the tractor pulls, the truck pulls, the motorcycle stuff, everything over in Ring 3. I do not do as good of a job at that stuff as I do with the other stuff. And the reason is I have anxiety disorder, and the loud noises, man, really get to me. So I was talking to Andrew Onick, who is a huge part of the fair every year, member of Team Orange, and just a massive part of the fair, and also a massive part of the 321 family. And he was like, I called dibs on that for 321 for this year. He was like, I want to be down there. Like, he loves it. He loves all the pulls.
Yeah.
He was telling me like specs about trucks for truck pulls and track. And I'm like, man, you are talking a foreign language to me.
Man, you're telling me. I've had to grow up hearing that all the time from my dad. And he started at a very, very young age, I believe. I think he was 7 or 8 years old when he started. And, that love carried all the way through to, where he is now, running the club, doing a really good job. And it's just impressive to see what knowledge he has about all the tractors and stuff like that. I swear he can fix anything in like minutes. It's unbelievable.
Well, I definitely want to get him on a show to talk about that.
I'm sure he'd love to.
Pretend, Dan, if you're listening, I will pretend to know what you're talking about. Enough to, I mean, that's all I do for anybody. Honestly, I just pretend enough that I know what you're talking about and try to make it seem like I have any semblance of a clue.
Yeah, and they do have a Facebook page as well called the New England Garden Tractor Pullers. So if you want to give that a follow, not only at the Washington County Fair, but they pull at Brooklyn Fair and a bunch of other places as well throughout the year.
Well, they're the New England.
So,
very cool. I didn't know that you were a part of that.
I was,
or your family was a part of that.
And I still go whenever I can to, support my sister, my dad, my mom, and stuff like that as well, and her boyfriend as well.
Well, and nothing against Westerly, but I forget that you're a Cherahoe guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a big,
there is.
It's a lot more rural in
Definitely.
Cherahoe. So this kind of, from certain angles, this kind of looks like a cowboy hat. A little bit. I have a cowboy hat.
Do you?
That I got at the Washington County. Actually, I didn't. So we're just talking about the fair now.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, the what is now the museum at the fair was just another like craft barn for vendors. And there used to be somebody that sold really nice cowboy hats. And I was like 9 years old, and I was like, Dad, let's buy cowboy hats. And he was like, shut up. Like my dad went to work at 4 a.m. every day and then would come get me at the fair because my mom volunteered at the fair every day with at a booth. And so my dad would be exhausted and he would come to the fair and pick me up and take me home. And I was always mad that I had to go home. And I was 8 or 9, and we were walking out from where the Christchurch booth is now. It was the Oddfellows booth when I was a kid, right next to the Cherahoe Cowboys Dunking booth. And we were walking out, and I was like, Dad, we need hats. And he was like, no. And I was like, Mom gave me money. I'm getting us hats. And I bought us both cowboy hats. And they looked so stupid.
So they didn't look that bad.
I made him, we went to North Carolina to visit his brother that summer, and I made him bring the cowboy hat with him because we were going down south and I was 9. And so I have a picture of him in his cowboy hat. I have no idea whatever happened to mine. I have no pictures of me wearing a cowboy hat from that age. No recollection of it. But I have a picture of him wearing a cowboy hat. And I mentioned it, the 2020 Washington County Fair. Obviously, it was virtual that summer, and I was the host, producer, video editor, everything. And my dad passed away the Sunday before the fair. So the fair is Wednesday through Sunday. For me, that was like a week of hell, just work wise, right? Like I put in maybe 300 hours of work that week. I don't even know how many hours are in a week, but I put in all of them. Like 4 hours of sleep, video editing, hosting 4 or 5 hours of a show that night. And he passed away unexpectedly the Sunday before. And at some point I told the story about the cowboy hat. So the next year in 2021, they invited me back and they were like, we want you to kind of be the host of the fair and like, go around and do the marketing and like, show the people the fair through your eyes. And I told the story about the cowboy hat, and everybody on the fair committee were like, you need a cowboy hat. You need to find a cowboy hat. So I went on a search for a cowboy hat at the fair in 2021. Not a single one.
I know. I was gonna say I don't think I rarely have seen cowboy hats sold
for sale. No, there's like none. There were like some like little straw like fake ones, nothing that like would work for me. And so finally, I think that I had to order it online. I ordered a cowboy hat online for the fair for the next year for 2022. Kasim Yarn, the director of the Veterans of Foreign, the director of the Rhode Island Department of Veteran Affairs, Kasim Yarn, amazing man, saw me in the cowboy hat for some reason for the Washington County Fair and was like, I have a cowboy hat too. And every year in May, we do the Mental Health Day of Action, where it's a broadcast to let veterans know like there is help available to combat veteran suicide. And every pre-production meeting that we have, he's bald, so it's fine for him to just grab it and then he doesn't end up with the hat hair like I do.
Yep.
But every time he's like, where's the cowboy hat? Where's the cowboy? Like, I know that if I'm doing a thing with Kasim Yarn, I have to, with Director Yarn, I have to have my cowboy hat at arm's reach. He's going to be mad, though, because last year I moved and I gave my nephew my cowboy hat.
Oh.
So.
Got to find another one quick.
Or I just put this one
Or
on
you
there.
just wear the fedora.
I just wear the fedora and tell him,
it's just a smaller cowboy hat.
It's just a smaller cowboy
That's it.
hat. And it's felt, so I don't want to take it out in the rain.
It's new and innovative. Has a more sleek design.
Who would ever say a fedora is new and innovative? Dan, let's talk a little bit about you. So you are the girls basketball coach, head basketball coach for Charahoe Varsity. You're 11 years old.
Yep.
No, but for real though, you're like the youngest head coach in Charahoe history, I assume.
I don't know all the exact ages of all the coaches, but yeah, I got the job at 21 years old, the youngest that you could get the job.
That's incredible. There were seniors there that were still that you went to school with, I would assume, at 21.
No, I missed my
17?
sister. Yeah, my sister was in 8th grade when I was a senior.
Okay. So and she was on the team, right?
She was my first season. She was a senior. And that was just such a rewarding experience. Because I said it on a Rude Awakening before, but she tore her ACL her sophomore year, and it just really took a toll on her, both physically, mentally. And she didn't necessarily love the sport enough to like continue to like play through it. And she didn't necessarily like the coach that was there before too. And when I got the job that summer, she reached out, she asked me, she was like, hey, I want to try to get back into it. So I got her in the gym a lot in the fall, and, it was a little bit of a struggle at first with her knee and just learning how to play basketball again at that level. And more importantly, being a leader, because we were a really, really young team at the time. It was her and 4 sophomores starting in my first season. So we had our ups and downs, but I mean, that was just such a rewarding experience. And she did such a great job of leading the team. And then, obviously on the court as well. She loved playing defense. She had really good hands on the defensive end. Probably one of the, I think she's the best passer out of all of us in our family, the way she sees the floor. So she did a really good job, and I'm grateful that I got to experience that with her.
That's awesome. And now, so you just completed your 4th year.
4th, yep.
That's awesome.
And I'm just so grateful to have been put in that position. A lot of things, had to kind of go right, and very fortunate that, the former athletic director at Charahoe, Mike Shields, he gave me the opportunity, and I'm forever grateful to him because he was actually the one who reached out to me to apply. I interviewed, and then we were actually running the Hoop Academy basketball camp there at Charahoe. We were getting ready for lunch, and he pulls me out in the hallway and told me I got the job less than 24 hours after I interviewed. So it was great. And just, again, being able to go back to the school where, that place just means so much to me. It was so great to me, not only athletically, but academically, all the teachers, administration. It's just a great community, and be able to, try to help give back is, I don't take it for granted, and I'm grateful to be in that position.
That's really, really awesome. Well, Dan, like I said, I could talk to you all day about all of this stuff. And I'd love to have you back on as your own, as your own show. And you can come back and be a co-host anytime there's a school vacation.
I appreciate that.
But thank you guys so much for watching.
Yep.
Dan, anything you want to plug?
No, I think I'm good. We're I'm going to be on the broadcast tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. at Charahoe for our Charahoe Westerly baseball. DJ Gadget and I will be doing it again together. So looking forward to that. And then make sure to tune into Sports Open Mic tomorrow, 8 to 10 a.m.
You guys had a great rapport yesterday.
Yeah.
You had a great rapport.
Yeah, DJ is awesome. I've known her for a while. Just
we're out of time.
Okay. Fair enough. Sorry, DJ. No, DJ's awesome. She did a great job with me yesterday, just like she always does. And I actually watched the game back last night a little bit, and she did a good job of zooming in on, the batters when she needed to, and did a great job with the camera. So you're only as good as the people around you. And when you have good camera people, good people producing the game, it makes my job as a commentator a lot easier.
I also want to say a shout out to Justin Cahoon, the athletic director, for hooking us up with a battery pack.
Yep.
So that we could produce that game, because man, that softball field's in the middle of nowhere.
It is.
Dave and I were looking at the Google Maps of Chariho to see how it changed since we went and where the softball fields are and stuff. I remember like a month ago having a conversation with your grandfather and Bill, who's currently a coach at Chariho. And we were like, well, there's no way to get an extension cord out there. And somebody was like, well, yeah, you could run it from the Votech over. And I'm like, because that's where the softball field is in my mind, right? The softball field is down the first one in the driveway up from on the left next to the Votech. And so that's where I told DJ to go. And she's like, there's no one here. And I'm like, okay. Now I remember when that softball field, I've been on that softball field that they played on last night. I just didn't realize that was the softball field now. And man, the hill to get up there.
Yep.
We used to do conditioning running up that hill. And I think that was the only workout that's ever made me throw up in my entire life, was just running sprints up that hill and trying to roll tires up that hill. Thanks, Coach Pro.
Yeah,
And
I won't
Coach
forget
Kelly.
that field either, because in middle school basketball, my 8th grade year, our coach took us outside. It was a slightly nicer day outside, and we just did conditioning the whole time on that field. We were hopping fences. We were all over the place.
Yeah, it's rough. I want to say also that if you want to be an advertiser, right now we have the Give Back and Grow Together campaign. You can advertise your business on 321 and gift an ad to a nonprofit that you love and support. You can call or text 401-321-2838 for details. And thank you, Dan, for how much you plugged that last night. All right, guys, that is it for today. We'll see you. We'll see you 2:00 for something. Actually, we'll see you right now for Friday Friends with RI Elder info. Bye for now.